about culture and interculture?
My opinion about culture and interculture goes not on the perspective of the boundaries, of the frontiers of the countries, but more into the cultural elements that each country has different between them, and about all the things that really matter and are completely specific of the geographic part of this country. And that means that each country has geographical and natural differences that really can be amplified by the work of art. And going and studying these differences and making comparisons between countries and between geographical items and geographical problems like the light really influences the way that you can work. So my work is really influenced by Portugal, by the natural conditions of Portugal, by being a country turned to the ocean, a country with more hours of light than any other country in Europe. So it's quite important that you work with your own specific conditions in your country.
And which boundaries exist between arts and public spaces?
Well, art and public spaces are the same sometimes, but are also completely different. Art normally works into spaces programmed to receive art, like galleries and museums. But public art is completely different from this kind of specific spaces, because being on the outside and being seen by many other people, by the public in general, public art obliged to have certain kind of materials that normally in the inside spaces don't oblige us to work in those materials specifically. So in order to have the work of art to sustain many times outside and to be able to resist to the weather and to people and to cars and to pollution, the works of art have to be done in specific materials. And that makes you work in a different kind of scale, a kind of public eye, and also in terms of material. That's the big difference, the materials and the public.
What comes across your mind when we speak about creative thinking?
Creative thinking is a knowledge and a group of ideas that you gain, and then you have to work with them in order to to communicate, and also to try to analyze what you know, what are your historical references, cultural and intellectual references, and you need to break boundaries and to go further in order to create something not new but at least contemporary. So that's the main thing, is to go against all odds and to create new perspectives.
And being Portuguese influences your way of creating and interfering in society as an artist?
Of course, being Portuguese is, as I said, it's important because of our culture, our geographic location in the world, and our weather conditions like the light. And it's very important because all of this goes into the colors of the materials, it goes into the quality of the light for doing outside projects or to work inside. So you really need to be aware of all historical things, architectural things, about the history and the experience that your country had in time. So being Portuguese has been a great experience because we have an incredible past and I hope an incredible future. So I try to work on this perspective of an old and very rich culture and a very contemporary and a very strong culture that wants to be in the future as all other countries in Europe.
Being an artist, what do you wish to transmit in your art? Is that expression understood worldwide, just in our country? And which difficulties do you find broadcasting your art?
Well, in my artwork, I work in many Portuguese perspectives, and I work about being a woman, a Portuguese woman, and coming from a country with certain kind of qualities and defects, of course. But my work has been understood in many other countries in a completely different way of the Portuguese way. And that means that my work can communicate with other cultures. So it's like a way of transmission and a way of creating new kind of communication with other cultures and with other kind of people.
Thank you, Joana, and good afternoon.
Thank you so much.